I think those conversations are important to normalize that it's not okay, because as long as you keep saying like this is not okay, then tell me what is okay. And then having those strong females within the gaming space is also definitely a move in the right direction.
I feel like my games were a little easier earlier when I had my lobbies. Pretty sure.
Well, those were bot lobbies. So.
Those were bot.
They didn't think they could be here. They thought it was just a boys' game, or they weren't comfortable. They didn't want to compete. That really highlighted the fact that we've got to make it more inclusive for girls. We have to make welcoming, open environments. We have to give them champions and examples of mentors that they can see and that they can be. And despite whatever culture or society says, they absolutely are a part of this world, and they can absolutely make a difference in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, art.
So this was a Kickstarter project, correct?
Yeah, so I scraped money together on my own when we went up to Kickstarter.
At what point would we say they move from club to designated under the school's banner?
Obviously, it's going to come from support staff. Having a director of a program and then having per game coaches, I think, is a great way to help with that.
The parent interaction is a big part of it, especially for somebody who's in this industry and, fought to try and be here. What I see is, what I strive for is to show parents that gaming is a legitimate way to create a career for yourself, right? And these tournaments do that.
Is when it comes to character creators, the disabled community is not really represented in the game itself. That was something that we wanted to attack on our way in. So one of the first things we ever built was this character creator. We call them enhancements. So the wheelchairs, you've got different prosthetic,
different eye colors as well.
Heterochromia, different color eyes is heterochromia, which is super common.
Oh, on this one, you shoot his legs out and then he falls over. And okay, he disappeared for some reason. Okay.
It's one of my favorite things about Apex is I can do absolutely nothing in this period right here.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at this, I'm flying. This reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, which have you ever played Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah. My 9-year-old big fan.
So I won victory. Dad dab. Yes. I'm over here hitting R like I'm reloading my gun accidentally for some reason. I have no idea. Or C to crouch. And
I said, so hey, have you heard about esports and how it's benefiting schools and how it's doing all this with students? And they said, I've heard some of it. Well, did you know that it's happening right now and it's something that you guys can jump on board with?
So I was a sergeant. I was an E5. Seeing the work that we were doing with the kids and seeing hey, this is something that we can really build and make a positive influence on the kids that we're working with.
Particularly, Bubba, here's my big thing, particularly people who look like me.
Yeah.
In the educational technology space and in the esports space, because I said that it's being underserved. I need for directors, I need for teachers, I need for students, I need for anybody to, when I'm talking to them, they say, oh, whoa. And they may not say it, but I know sometimes they're thinking it, well, there's this African-American, there's this black man in this space talking esports, talking educational technology. We may have not seen that before, and that's important.
As you said earlier, you mentioned a parent asking about esports challenges for their kid. I think that's wonderful. How many parents back in the day actually had interest in gaming when it's not academically viable?
And so I reached out to Mike and Christy. Their contact information was on there. I found them through High School Esports League, which was our league, coincidentally. Christy answered my email and she was like, you've got some technical questions. I'm gonna loop Mike in on this.
Of course.
It was just the best meeting I've ever had.
Hey, I know you're already going to be here for the tennis tournament.
Hey, Charles.
Come by, dude. Take 15 minutes out of the tennis tournament. Come inside. Get a breath of the air-conditioned air, and just come see what my kids are doing. And that's all it took. They just had to see it with their own eyes. Oh, these are the kids that are playing in esports. It was the kids who ate lunch by themselves, the kids with no friends, the kids, we were worried about them dropping out of school. But hey, you know what? They came to school on Friday because they wanted to play Super Smash Brothers in the library.
My name's Kyle Mullins. I'm the youth pastor and work with 6th through 12th graders. It's probably where we started spending the most time together is when we went to China. Put on a soccer camp. And then got into streaming a couple months ago. Between my fumbling through the world and gaming all of my life, but now fumbling into streaming and stuff.
One thing that's really important to me is the kids learn to be positive influence, to not be toxic. I've seen kids get really mean and be bullies.
If the industry truly wants to actually serve these communities, and it's going to come from a publisher down, we're going to have to provide support behind titles that can be played on the platform that these communities can actually have access to. It comes from the publisher down, it's just the empathy comes from the businesses and the consumers down.
You know what? Let me in front of you. Let me be your shield, and that way you don't die as quick.
In addition, I think one of the more exciting things I got to do is I got to be one of the official co-streamers for the Overwatch League opening day this past season.
Well, my background's actually in acting. I went to school for musical theater back in the day. I don't think I can talk and clean. It's very complicated.
All good things sometimes must come to an end. I'm actually leaving the world of education.
What?
Yep, big reveal. 6 days. I'm actually in conversations right now about my next steps.
This was announced officially here in the public on the show. Were you a CIA agent? I just have to ask you.
I was not. I did work in the Bureau of Intelligence and Research. Yeah.
Oh crap! Oh crap!
Oh no! Well, it looks like.
I should have stayed so close to the edge.
ESA is the voice and advocate for the video game industry in the United States.
And we're really lucky in that we get to stay really mission driven and stay focused on the impact that this is having on students and schools. We don't really need to get into the nitty gritty of the numbers, which is, I think the thing is, like an educator, you probably fear when you're leaving the classroom.
If you'd like to be on invite sent to be interviewed and play video games, please go to BubbaGatter.com and request to be on the show. And I'll let you know if the invite is sent.
Oh my god.
Trade.
Yeah. Come on in, big guy. Come on. You won't.
How do you heal and how do you live? What?
He threw a black hole at us like Thanos. You can't. That's not a button. I don't have that button.
I don't have that button either. Okay. Welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello, thank you so much for being here. So excited to get started on another wonderful day. But you know what? What did we miss? We missed Good Morning Gamers.
Hey yo, good morning gamers. Good morning gamers. Good morning, it's gaming week gamers. Good morning 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 gamers. Good gamers. Good morning gamers. Good morning gamers. Good morning gamers.
Good morning, gamers. Good morning, gamers. Okay, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, Charles, how are you doing on LinkedIn? Thanks so much. We are on multiple platforms. We are on 2 Twitter station channels, accounts, 2 YouTubes, Kick, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitch. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to talk a little more about what's happening in the gaming space. We're going to watch some videos about the layoffs. We're going to break down Amir's the workbook. We're going to do some fun stuff. And we're going to look at some stuff from Mark Kai. We're going to maybe ask around and see who wants to be interviewed on the show on Spotlight on Thursday, which we think we have someone already booked. We'll see if it gets confirmed, and potentially in the next week as well. So we've got some open spots here for Spotlight. If you'd like to be a part of the show and you want to be on Spotlight here in the next upcoming weeks to show off your resume, show off your skills, and show people who you are in the gaming and esports space, I'd love to have you. I'd love to introduce you to the world. But let's get rolling with, let's look at some stuff Mark has been talking about. Our friendly, awesome news source, Mark Kai. He talked about the ESA report that was yesterday, The Power of Play, which is global report from 2023, which I love. The Entertainment Software Association, they've got some really good content around not just numbers, not just like who, what, when, where, how, but why. And this power of play and the reasons to play is really cool. 69% of people say they play to have fun, 63% play to pass time, and 58% play for relaxation. And I thought that was pretty cool. And this is all broken down per country as well. So I bet this is ranking from highest to lowest. So more than likely that matches up with the United States. But who plays for relaxation more often? Brazil and South Korea. I like that. Games supporting mental health. Okay, this is huge. Research surveys have identified that playing video games helps people lift their moods. Absolutely love that. That is amazing. Helps me feel less stressed, helps me feel less anxious, helps me feel less isolated and lonely. Global players say that playing video games reduces stress, anxiety, and feelings of isolation. I love that. Makes people happy, healthy outlet, happier in difficult times. I totally get that. So mental health, let's see. Oxford University stated 2022, engaging with arts and culture online can improve mental health in young people. Oh, I love that quote. Let's put that, let's like make this into a, we gotta turn this into a Canva, a little, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna turn that into a little Canva quote thing people put on the Instagrams because they're so cool. Video games have always been associated with storytelling and escapism, but researchers are increasingly finding that games can help bolster key cognitive skills and even slow the effects of memory loss. A study published in Nature Human Behavior found that even just a couple hours of gameplay a week can help improve attention, control, and reading. You know, I'd almost rather put this in our VEF slide deck. These are actually pretty good. Let's see if we can find maybe a quote alongside this, or the actual the power play. I'd like to pull it from global play. Actually, I would love to put the global play in our actual deck. Let's go through here. Let's go down to benefits of play. This is from the game industry. I'd actually love to put, let's go ahead and add this in the deck under benefits of play. And we'll go to that first Entertainment Software Association one. That's great. Let's add a duplicate slide. Let's take this out. Let's add in this power of play. I kind of like this graphic. Reasons to play. What's a good one? Let's do something around mental health. Games supporting mental health. Yeah, I like this one. So what I like to do is I like to reference stuff from these. Actually, let's start over. Let's grab these. Let's grab that. Let's drop that in here as, and the line is game support mental health. Okay. Game support mental health. I there's not a lot of my own opinion or anything in here. It is a lot of just how do I bring to light the information out there. So we're gonna edit this. You guys are seeing the back end of how I edit this. Let's actually call that Power of Play Global Report 2023 ESA. And we'll turn that yellow as we do. Playing games. Let's see if we can add a little bit of a quote here. I'll add this one because I like that. We'll take some copy here. We'll put this down here. In the middle. Shrink that down there. We'll take this. We'll take this. I lost it. Put this back in here. I've always like adding and updating information on this slide deck with new things. There we go. Center that. Okay. I'd have another mental health section. Well-being. I think I have it somewhere else. Okay, I love that one. That's the power play. That's now referenced. And then I do want to find this Oxford. Online engagement with arts and culture can have a positive impact on young people's. Okay. Engaging. Well, there's the study. That's what I need. That's what I need. I need the actual study. Let's see. Then we'll take this and we will duplicate this one. And let's add in this must have been from the abstract. We're going to a co-produced online culture experience compared to a typical museum website for mental health in people aged 16 to 24, a proof of principle randomized controlled trial. Interesting. We're gonna take this University of Oxford. This is University of Oxford online, or this is University of Oxford. Okay, we're gonna change that to University of Oxford. Wow. Add that. We'll add that there. We'll take this here, take that there, pull that out. Gonna add something really good. Let's see if we got any charts here. Look at this one. Interesting. So it found basically, as they studied as a control, that comparatively, all this data that I don't understand. So much data. Okay. That's a really good quote. It's also in this one. Let's see. Let's see, we'll call this mental health and cognitive skills. Cognitive skills. We'll increase this to that, and this is nature of human behavior 2022. All right. And then we will add, I mean, I just love it. It's just such good stuff. Come on, Bubba. Strengthen the ability to learn. Let's highlight that. Improve mental health. Great. And we'll add a slash. With this. Like to reference. And Okay. That's not it. It is from video game strengthening ability to learn. Video game learn. There it is right there. Nature, human behavior. Nature. This is there we go. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. You know what? Do I have a little slash as white? I should. Just makes it look cool. Whoop, I didn't do it. All right. All right. Engaging with arts and culture online can improve mental health in young people, reducing physiological distress. The effects are thus long-term, in line with the action video game. Huh. There we go. I love adding stuff to this document because it just gives more and more firepower for people to understand video game and esports in schools. I play daily basis. This is good. Okay. So I've got some other ones I do want to add. I do want to update these games made for mental health, ADHD game treatment, the Dragon Cancer game. What we might do is we might watch some of the video from George Herrera, which I'm going to pull that up over here. Let's see. George. Never spell George correctly. Nazarene. Oops. Let's pull that up. How are you guys doing today? Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. And here it is. We're going to pull this video up and yeah, we're gonna go over this video with George here soon. George is amazing. We'll keep that one up for later. And so we're looking at what Mark had talked about. He talked about some of the highlights happening in esports. And he showed the STWS, what is it? Science Sports Tech World Series. There we go. Pretty good. Obviously, this is the really, really big stuff with Big. I think I've looked at this before on stream. But yeah, the reason we're here is for layoffs. We're going to look at, check out Nick. Nick hopefully will be on the show soon. But Nick is a pretty amazing fella. Great public speaker and host in the space. He's done, golly, I'm pretty sure he's like hosted some pretty big events on stream. I remember during COVID for sure. And it's a pretty impressive guy. So hopefully, yeah, Ivan Global. Invin Global. I remember him doing quite a bit of stuff there during COVID. It was a pretty big deal. So hopefully we can get him on the show. He's got a lot of experience. We'll interview him, talk about all the stuff he's done. But there are some people out there. We're gonna hopefully be able to sit with Madison Lillian here as well soon. She is an ex-Epic Games employee, but she's been doing some amazing stuff helping people find work in the gaming space. And I think she's been pretty awesome, along with hello Aminika, hello. Apologize if I didn't get that correctly. Let's double check. Aminika. Eamon? Aka. Eamon? I don't know. That sounds awesome. Thanks for being here in the Nigerian Esports Federation. Hey, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Let's check out some of your cool stuff. I click that. EJ. Well, might not be available. Okay. Got some cool stuff. Let's check out your post, bro. Nice. Love it. Biggest gaming event of the year. I like that. I like the graphic. Looks cool. Nigerian Esports Federation. Okay. Ooh, look at that. I love these. This is such a great culture thing. I have one from China of a sports team that was presented to me. I love that tradition. Quessy is for sure on your feed. That's for sure. Because he's Quessy. I'm glad you look like you're doing amazing stuff in Nigeria. I love that. That's great. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being here. I was gonna pull up Amir's. I'm just gonna type it in. Amir Satvat. And we're gonna go over his video that he created for all of us, which I'm just gonna go to the notification for it. He put it right here, or did he message me? No, here it is. So we're gonna watch his video together of this post.
Hi friends, Amir here. You know, one of the requests that I get most often on the channel is to do an actual walkthrough of our video games jobs resources. I get frequent questions from many of you asking, am I getting the most I can out of all these resources? Where do I go for this link? Where do I go for that? So I thought that I would actually hit all of these in the bud right here and give you a full walkthrough of all of our community's games resource today together. So let's have some fun. So the first question I often get from folks is, Amir, where do I go to find the latest and greatest resources in the community? That's a pretty straightforward one. You always come here to my LinkedIn profile page, linkedin.com/in/ my full name, all one word, Amir Satvat. On there, you'll always see this link, Video Games Career Resources, which will always be the most current version of our community's 7 resources. So why do I say 7 resources? Let's just go through all of these quickly together. The first 2 are resources where you sign up to go on a list with hiring managers. So you can sign up via a Google form that takes just a few minutes to fill out. The first one is for absolutely anybody. The second one is just for people in games. When that's done, what it looks like is a list like this for the job seekers workbook. There are tabs on the bottom, sorted between paid internship all the way up to VP. And if you've just signed up, you go on the list here on the form responses, and I weekly take those and aggregate them between these different tabs. This is for people to find you if you're looking for work, and that's the purpose of that. The most common thing that I get as a question on this is people will say, Amir, I'm not on the list, where's my name? Make sure to look at the tabs because, again, I sort you out between all of these. Similar thing for the games one, except for that one, because it's not really sorted by seniority, everybody is in one common tab here. Please again remember this is just for people who are in the game space, so that's those 2 resources. Next, we go to our resources in terms of mentoring and help from the community. So we have a ton of mentors and CV LinkedIn reviewers. Again, you can click on a link here for either mentorship or CV LinkedIn profile to help and to actually be a volunteer for those. When you're done, and this is what everybody can look at, you'll see that, whoops, I've already clicked on the forms. Here we go. Mentor list. And CV LinkedIn reviewer list. You'll see that there's a list of all the people who are new reviewers for that week are in green. They're sorted by various functions. And the only thing that I often ask here is, you know, people say, well, how do I reach out? All you do is send the person a LinkedIn message, or you can tag them in a comment if they don't have open messaging to have a conversation. Please only reach out to 2 or 3 people at once because we get quite a lot of volume, and please be understanding. Give people up to a week to respond back. If you reach out and people don't respond, please go ahead and reach out to another 2 or 3 people. I've very seldom have heard of someone making like 5 or 6 reach outs and not getting a response for a 30-minute conversation. Similar thing for CV LinkedIn reviewers, just a slightly different format because of how it's aggregated. One other thing I'll note is you'll see that in each of our resources in the first tab, there's always a list of the main resources that we have that are linked to a Google Sheet or a folder, and you can just jump between these in the links in case you're wondering. And I always keep a reminder here of my profile page so you know to go there to that link at the top if you want to see what the latest is. Next is the Games Jobs directory, which people know has the largest listing of games jobs. And here's how this one works. So in the first tab, there's always a listing of what all the jobs are by category and how many there are of each. Then there's the master tab here, right? Each company has a website of where its roles are. You can see if it's SLA compliant, which means that I update the data in the last 30 days. This column is what date was it last updated, of course the company's name. Is it a new company in this version, and is the company remote? Fully remote, partially remote, or non-remote. Whenever people suggest new companies, I just ask them kindly to just take a look at this list, because probably 80% of the requests to get added are companies that are already on the list. You can't manually add data. This uses a highly semi-automated approach that's 95% driven by web scraping and various Excel macros. So if you're not on this list, just send me a message and I will add you within a week. You can see up here what version we're in and what was changed in the latest version. And this again shows more stats on which companies are within SLA. If we go over here, you can see by the job categories how many jobs there are overall and by company. On the right here, you can see that we sort the top 5 locations for each employer. These ones are all remote. And then for these ones, you can see where over the last year where I've seen that the most jobs are for those places. I can't do that at an individualized company level, but this still hopefully gives you some good info. Then you'll see their individual tabs for each function. So if you're looking for, let's say, art roles, these are sorted by fully flexible, partially flexible, non-flexible. And again, for each company, there's the company's name, the number of roles in their site. So if you were in art and looking for roles, I tried to make this as easy as possible so you can just grab the list and go and just start applying. So you're looking for comms, PR roles, no problem. Here are the companies, here are the roles, go ahead and start applying. Easy peasy. Next, we discuss the Games.org support posts. This is pretty straightforward. So the sample I've given here is the Ubisoft London one. If you're a company that was affected by layoffs and you have anywhere between 10 to 100 people, I've chosen that because below 10, there's so many that I can't unfortunately accommodate all the posts and requests, and it would not get visibility. And over 100, I feel like it's so widespread. That's why we have the job listing exercises. So for 10 to 100, if your organization makes a template like this with names, titles, years experience, the profiles of people affected, and a sentence or 2 about them, I will turn that into support posts that will get 100,000-ish views so that those people can have more visibility. All you need to do is populate this template and give it to me. I will edit it, write up something nice, and post it. And then finally, we have the Jobs Career Pack. This has for 10 to 100. If your organization makes a template like this with names, titles, years experience, the profiles of people affected, and a sentence or two about them, I will turn that into a support post that will get 100,000-ish views so that those people can have more visibility. All you need to do is populate this template and give it to me. I will edit it, write up something nice, and post it. And then finally, we have the Jobs Career Pack. This has a bit of a potpourri of different things that I hope you will all find helpful. And so in that folder, you'll see that there's a resume template that you can fill out, a job tracker Excel that you can fill out for staying on top of all your roles, a cover letter template, various common job questions, self-questionnaires for thinking through your career. And so these are, again, just some additional resources that I hope are helpful as you think through your job search. So that's all the resources, the 7 resources that our community has. I hope that gives a bit more context so there's clarity. And remember, if in any further doubt, just go to my profile
Hey,
page
Kyle.
and that link that I shared. And once you do that, you'll immediately see video games career resources and know where to go. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied. And again, for the mentor and LinkedIn CV exercises, there's no complex process. You just find a person you want to talk to and reach out. But I just ask that you're patient and have courtesy. Good luck, everybody, and I hope these resources continue to help. Take care.
So we've got some really good resources from Amir Sadvat. You know, he is a very experienced gentleman. I mean, if we look at his CV here, let's take a look at what he does. Obviously, he's a business development director for Tencent now. I know he did work at Amazon for quite some time, which is pretty cool. Kyle, how's it going over on Facebook? I'm about to check out Gaming and Ministry, so stick around. I'm going to check out George's video game, A Christian Perspective. So stick around here, Kyle. You can ask me some questions. But Amir is pretty awesome. I love it. He's doing some amazing stuff. We've got a show on Thursday. We'll hopefully have Nick, and then next week maybe some other folks as well for Spotlight, because we want to just promote who is in the gaming space and who has lost their jobs. Now, as we finish out today, we're going to check out George's Christian Perspective video game series. I'm going to put this in the chat first, right here. So if you want to see that, it won't show up on Facebook. Let me put it over on Facebook here for you, Kyle, or I can DM it to you, but whatever. The Facebooks, right there. Didn't really work. I don't know. Well, it's okay. We'll DM it to you. But this is a really good resource for people in the gaming space or also in the ministry space. And why can't I find your name? Gotta put your name in my Discord. Boom. There we go. So, link worked. Great. So this video games source is really good. This one, I took all of these videos, but what I'm trying to do is I haven't set enough time aside. That sounds good enough to add the stuff he talks about from the stuff he talks about mental health, the ADHD game that I want to talk about, that dragon cancer, hedonic and eudaimonic, and flow theory, which I love the flow theory, T-bots, and all created from gaming and music. So we're going to watch a little bit of his stuff and check it out.
Oh, hey. Hi everyone, my name is George. As a Christian and someone who loves games, I believe that video games offer something unique, not only to the world in general, but also specifically to the Christian faith. Video games have created and developed technologies such as virtual avatars, engaging immersive environments, and they have developed new forms of storytelling. These are all at levels of sophistication that are largely overlooked by the wider world. I believe that this unique tool set can benefit Christians globally. They allow us to express and experience our Christian faith like never before. It was during Bible college that I was introduced to the idea that video games and Christianity have a unique relationship. and I learned that I can experience my Christian faith through video games. I played one in particular that changed my life. It's called That Dragon Cancer. TDC is a testimony made video game of two Christian parents who struggled when their 4-year-old son Joel was diagnosed with cancer and he died. The game shares this difficult season with the user, and you feel and experience the sadness and the grief that the parents felt, as well as their struggle with God. When I played this game, I began to feel happy as I began to create a relationship with this digital boy. I was sad when I found out that he had cancer, and I was devastated, and I questioned God when he died. I began to think and reflect. I began to talk about this experience with others, and it affected me in a way that no other game had. It was at this moment that I realized the power of video games. In this module, I'm going to be talking about video games, giving you an overall introduction into the industry, the capabilities, and the purposes of modern-day video games. This will be followed up by a session that goes into some detail about the health benefits and warnings of video game use. I'm then going to share with you some of the history of Christian engagement with media, followed by a module on Christian ministry and video games where I will explain how to engage video games in practical ways in order to deliver good, effective sessions. The purpose of this module is to bring you into the world of video games and have you walk confidently in it as a Christian and as a practitioner. Enjoy.
Okay, so George, being the awesome person he is, George Herrera. I told you about him, Kyle. I hung out with him in London, only for a few hours, sadly. But he's created a game. He's created a game here called The Journey of Grace. The Journey of Grace. I wonder if I can play it on... Well, this is the mobile version of it. And it's pretty cool. This is a game, and you're playing it. You're running. I haven't really gotten that far in it. But first, yeah. Anyways, this is their first game they developed. And because he works for, he's the Europe and Asia Church of the Nazarene video game and esports director. And he put on a pretty cool event here. He was at Gamescom. He actually hosted an event. This might be one of his events. Victory Gaming. Victory Gaming is his org there in London, Manchester area, in the UK, basically. And yeah, there he goes. Look at this guy up in front of people. So that's what he does. But I wanted to add that Dragon Cancer info to my esports and research deck. Now, who better than to show us and talk to us about a game than PewDiePie?
Today we're playing That Dragon Cancer. I first heard about this game many years ago. I think it came out with Ouya, if you remember that console. There's been a bit of controversy,
Ouya.
I don't know if that's the right word, along this game and Let's Players. The developer came out and said that he wasn't entirely sure
It's kind of low, isn't it?
whether or not Let's Players benefited the sales of the game.
Come on,
so
PewDiePie.
far, it hasn't
Be
turned a
louder.
profit, which seems crazy, because the game is $10.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. Correct me
Oh,
if
did you
I'm wrong, but
accidentally
I think the developer's
tag
son
Reyna?
got cancer, and this game is
You actually tagged Reyna.
his way of telling how that experience was, of sharing that. I'm not sure. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is obviously going to be more of a serious Let's Play. We do a lot of
Yes,
silly
maybe so.
games and silly videos, but obviously
know
I
why
want
it's so
to
soft.
treat this one with a little bit more respect. But also there is add to this.
Let's go,
The
PewDiePie.
gates, so we should be able, just you and me for 1 hour and a half. Aren't you happy? You had nothing else planned, didn't you? What a loser.
There we go.
It's a great way to start a video, calling your watchers a loser. I'm sorry.
Now it got real.
Great way to start a game with a duck. I
Oh.
don't know how I feel about this now, to be honest. I don't know if I can trust this game now.
So that Dragon Cancer.
Are we playing as a duck?
Oh my
Best
god.
game ever.
Oh my gosh. So let's see a little maybe more of a trailer about this.
Farmer Bill plays building blocks with the cows.
More?
Farmer Bill races the horse and Farmer Bill wins. My shoes were untied.
I'm getting very sad.
What does Joel love? Wawa. In cups, bathtubs, and the warm, wet tongues and the cool fur of Das. And maybe the sweet moors of daily affection.
Like knowing this kid is not alive because of cancer. And watching this is, I'm already sad.
Do you know how they celebrate off treatment day, like when kids are done with their treatments? I guess maybe you don't because you're not in the clinic as much as I am, but on someone's last day, they always bring them a cake and they sing happy off therapy day to you.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not good.
Basically, he thinks we should move forward with the radiation, and it kind of freaks me out, but it could be another miracle.
There's a story in the Bible where Jesus and his disciples are on a boat. And a furious storm hits the sea, and everyone thinks they're gonna die. And where do you think Jesus is? He's asleep in the back of the boat.
So sad. It's such a sad. Oh, it's happy.
Bouncing around. Do you like that? Oh, I love your giggle.
Oh, so emotional. Ay. So emotional. Let's see what the second video is about, because I thought he mentions that Dragon Cancer a little more.
In this session, we will be looking at the history of gaming, the video games industry, understanding video games as narratives, and how unique they are compared to other forms of media. I believe that playing games is intrinsically part of being human. Historically, games and gaming have been around for a very, very long time. Ancient Greeks used to play a board game called Mancala, which is still around today, that distracted people during times of famine and starvations. China had Mahjong, and the ancient Egyptians had a game called Senet that taught about the god Ra. Chess was introduced as a game that could teach war strategy. These games were used to reinforce belief systems and apply practical use of mathematics. Games have always had an origin of entertainment, but also of teaching and learning. And so as time goes on and society and cultures have evolved, so have games, turning into video games. And the first video game that was widely popular was Pong. And a few years later, the console wars between Sega, Atari, and Nintendo began. And in the 1970s and 80s, we have the classic arcade era of gaming, which include Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and Donkey Kong. And this era of video games is depicted in the movie Pixels starring Adam Sandler. Fast forward to modern day gaming. The industry has grown from what used to be viewed as a hobby for antisocial shut-ins, playing countless hours of games alone in a dark bedroom, into a community of billions of people playing together online using the latest technology and addressing cultural trends, societal issues, as well as being competitive, recreational, and creating a unique community and people group. And so not only has video games grown in size, but they have grown in purpose, or perhaps retraced its original purpose, becoming more than simply entertainment. They are a media form that we can learn from. Video games are often viewed to be stereotypically violent and meaningless, but actually video games come in different genres, and some video games, particularly narrative games, which are first-person story narratives where the player is the main character and progresses through a storyline, exploring the environment and learning about the context, look into and explore different factors and elements of life, such as religion, drugs, sex, politics, war, social injustices. These types of video games are on the rise, and all if not most mainstream video games explore or have elements of allowing the user to make their own choices in regards to these divisive topics. To explore new narratives through critical thinking and reflection, as well as perhaps more importantly, allowing people to make mistakes in a safe environment, making them extremely popular. Video games have a far reach. The video games industry is huge. In 2020, it sold over $172 billion worldwide. This is more than the film and music industry combined. Globally, there are more than 2.5 billion people who play video games, and this number is steadily increasing. That means that a third of the Earth's population games regularly. And to put this into perspective, there's only 2.2 billion Christians in the world. Half of the US and UK population game regularly, and most of the users are from 20 to 40 years of age, as well as being equally split amongst men and women. Another fact is that around 20% of all gamers suffer from disability or additional needs. Video games come in many different shapes and sizes. You can play games on your phone and stream major titles on it. You can play games on consoles like the Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, and you can also play games on computers and virtual reality headsets like the Oculus Quest. Each come with their own unique experiences and capabilities as well as limitations. Video games are used in a variety of applications, from recreational gaming to esports, as well as learning for workplace and academic use. The biggest video game companies and publishers are dispersed worldwide. You have Sony in Japan, Tencent in China, Blizzard, Activision, Microsoft, and EA Sports in California. These companies generate billions of dollars of profits. Video game budgets are more than blockbuster movies, costing millions and millions of dollars to create with big teams. Modern day games nowadays are very well thought out, and the industry is driven by the latest technology and some of the most creative, innovative people on the planet. Video games have become a platform for other industries as well. In open world environments like Fortnite, musicians have begun to debut music and hold virtual concerts all inside of the video games, like the Travis Scott concert that made him over $20 million. Luxury clothing brands have begun to show off their latest designs in video games, and the film industry has a tradition of making films based on popular video games. This industry has also opened up career opportunities and lifestyles. In the UK alone, there are over 2,200 active video game companies. Over 100 universities in the UK hold degrees that are related to the video game industry. Career opportunities include esports, which generate up to $6 million in prize money and around $30,000 a month in salary, plus the winnings to top-end professional players. A senior video game developer earns around $100,000 a year, and a YouTuber with over 100,000 subs can get $50,000 a year. These are comparable with traditional professional sports careers and have a higher likelihood of achievement. Just like other forms of media, video games have different genres. Perhaps the most known and popular are first-person shooters like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. MMOs are massive multiplayer online role-playing games like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, and EVE Online. Multiplayer online battle arena games are also really popular and are big in esports. League of Legends and Dota are famous worldwide. And you can't leave out titles like FIFA and NBA 2K and Formula 1 racing games. But when we begin to explore Christianity in video games, we have to focus on narrative games. Players want to step into a story and make decisions and shape the narrative, exploring new environments and actually fostering a new understanding. This includes games like Mass Effect, Zelda, Assassin's Creed, Skyrim, and more. And we'll touch back on these narrative video games later. Video gamers are a community of people. There's a togetherness, a social aspect to video games. People game to play, compete, relax, but they also game to socialize. Some video game studios actually ask for gamers' advice on demos and prototypes and include regular people in the development process. Video gamers socialize on Facebook groups, Reddit, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, in open world environments, so there is a huge social aspect to video games. There's actually a few video game studios that are currently working on what they call a metaverse, a new type of video game slash social hangout hybrid for gamers, kind of like the Oasis in the movie Ready Player One, a place where people can log on, have an avatar, play games, socialize, chat, and just about do any activity they want. It's not exclusively about gaming, it's about being together and sharing moments. The video games industry received a huge boost in sales, production, awareness, and development due to the COVID-19 lockdowns. The World Health Organization actually recommended people play games during lockdown and physical quarantine so that they could still have social connections. Trends show that the video game industry will continue to grow at a steady pace. Video games are not simply a recreational thing that young people participate in, but it has become a feature of culture, society, and life in general, as well as a feature of our Christian faith.
Supremely amazing, supremely amazing. I've got to go back to that. I've watched it 2 or 3 times, the whole all 4 or 5 videos, 6 videos, and I'm going back in to rewatch it for sure. Man, thank you guys for being here today. We got to look at a few different things. We went all over the place, didn't we, today? But I'm so glad we had the ability to sit down and chat. If you are looking for a job, you're recently laid off, or anything else like that. Oh, it looks like. Wait, first of all, here, let's look at one more thing. Madison has posted an hour ago. Exciting news for Epic employees, game layoff folks. She's in the process of loading a call with Xbox Games hiring manager for an outplacement event. To secure your spot and get a chance to connect directly with hiring managers for Halo, Minecraft, and many more, please take a moment to fill out the form. Let's make sure this form is on. Oh, that's really cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's awesome. Look at all the open roles. Very cool. Very, very cool. A reminder, I'm doing this voluntarily. I'm not paid partner or recruiter. Hey, this is great. Let's repost this. Wish I had funny jury content, so sorry to laid off. Thanks, Andy. However, my true passion lies in improving employee experience by creating a positive work environment culture. Although I'm confident that the right job opportunity may come my way eventually, for now I'm glad to be leading up. You're just so amazing. That's what I want to see. So note for me is she has received multiple offers to do recruitment, but she loves on employee experience. Amazing work. Amazing work. Okay, thank you all for being here so much. I appreciate it. Stay amazing. Check us out on Spotlight on Thursday, and we will interview some awesome people. Thanks. See you later.
Hello, My name is Christy Kester. As a public educator for the past 24 years, I have watched as interest in esports has exploded in schools across the world. Last fall, I joined the High School Esports League and helped to establish the education department. Since then, we have been working hard to integrate esports into education to create a scholastic gaming experience where students can learn, play, and compete. With our evidence-based, STEM.org approved gaming concepts curriculum, schools can offer 4-credit classes during the school day that help improve chronic absenteeism, student engagement, and mental health.
As a senior health advisor for High School Esports League and a former ER physician, I see the incredible need for supporting mental health in students in today's schools. In fact, schools at a formidable crossroads where a pervasive and persistent decline in youth mental health now intersects with staff burnout. This has not been a sudden problem, but rather one we've seen over decades. The American Academy of Pediatrics announced in 2019 that 1 out of 3 students meets the criteria for generalized anxiety disorder before graduation. And the CDC reaffirmed that between 2009 and 2019, depression increased in adolescents by roughly 40%. The most telltale sign that grabbed all of our hearts was when the Surgeon General announced in December of 2021 that female adolescents increased their visits to the emergency departments around the nation by 51% for suicidal ideations. In the face of this, schools are desperately seeking solutions and ways to support those that struggle with mental health challenges. Now, these statistics that I mentioned are averages. We know there are some cohorts that are at higher risk, particularly those students who do not feel they have a safe place or a legitimate connection to school. That's where esports represents a tremendous opportunity. Students who are not currently involved with sports, music, arts, and traditional extracurriculars are left with minimal opportunities to make a connection. Yet many of these students find connections to their friends and other social outlets through online activity, including gaming. So, Scholastic Gaming represents an opportunity to leverage an area of interest into a legitimate class that meets state standards and expectations, all through an evidence-based curriculum that can simultaneously support self-esteem, self-efficacy, and life skills in many kids who desperately need it.
Hi, my name is Michael Russell. During my career as a teacher, I was fortunate enough to have the support of my administrator as I began the journey to establish the first 4-credit Scholastic Gaming course in the nation. At HSEL, we have the resources and data to help you speak with your administrators about the impact that Scholastic Gaming and esports can have for your students. We have strategies that can help you with acquiring technology and curriculum, such as ESSER funds, grant applications, and partnerships. The High School Esports League has invested significant resources in helping our education partners, and we are excited about this opportunity to help you establish Scholastic Gaming in your school.
Life is busy. Every day we ask questions like, what's happening today? What should I wear? How am I going to fit everything in? But then there are bigger questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Where am I heading? Is there more to life than this? These are some of life's big questions, but there's rarely enough time to think them through. That's why Alpha exists. Alpha is a place to explore life's big questions in a safe and open environment. It's a series of sessions where anyone can share their thoughts and opinions and ask questions without feeling judged. When you come to an Alpha, you'll notice that first, there's food. Whether it's a full meal or a light snack, this is the time to get to know each other in a casual setting. Next, you'll watch an Alpha talk. The talks are created to engage and spark conversation. They explore big issues around faith from a Christian perspective. After the talk is a time for discussion. This is the most essential part of any Alpha. It allows everyone to share their own opinions on the ideas presented in the talks. It's a time for people with different thoughts, beliefs, and experiences to ask honest questions and have open conversation. Every week, there are guests coming for the first time to an Alpha in their community. Alpha is for everyone, regardless of background or beliefs. There's no pressure, no follow-up, and it's completely free to attend. Come and explore life's big questions. Find an Alpha near you today.